For someone who writes paranormal fiction, I sure do have a lot of videos about agriculture. I have uploaded 50 videos to the Rivervine YouTube channel so far, and 6 of them have to do with local food networks. Well, here's the 7th one. I'm author Gwen Elise Clayton, and while it's true my books Zinfandel's Grimoire and Fermata Cellars are about a haunted winery, that haunted winery is the heart of an agricultural area in Northern California. So naturally, ag issues are central to the theme. The goal of the Rivervine YouTube channel is to take the tropes and themes mentioned in my books and apply them to real life in order to create our own sort of utopia. And my utopia is a place where fresh, healthy, delicious food is affordable and accessible to everyone. A few weeks ago, I attended the local food forum and expo at Purdue University, Fort Wayne. I was originally planning on writing up a summary for my online blog at gwenclaytonwrites.com, but then I learned I had a connection to one of the farmers, and so that escalated the whole event into the video that you're seeing today. The local food forum and expo was part of Local Food Week 2021. Here's a little the little brochure that came with it. Local Food Week is a 10-day celebration of farms, markets, restaurants, and other businesses that bring local food from our land to our tables. So this is the second year that they've had the local food forum and expo, and I didn't go last year, but I was really impressed. The keynote address is so cool. The original speaker who was supposed to give the keynote address was Layla Nargi. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I've never heard of her before, but apparently she's a big writer in the agricultural industry. I'm gonna have to look her up more. But she lives in New York City, and she couldn't make it to the event because of the Delta variant. So my editor over at Input Fort Wayne, which is an online magazine, what they ended up doing was having Kara Hackett, the editor, lead a discussion, a conversation. What did they call it? A keynote conversation. Oh my gosh, Gwen, I've got to learn how to speak better. So a keynote conversation with Kara Hackett and Layla Nargi. And let me just read to you from the thing. A forgotten essential, how the COVID-19 pandemic reveals the lost value of local food and what we can do about it. So this was really interesting. It covered a lot of things like the farm to school programs. It dealt a lot with education. And Layla had a great quote at the end. It was her closing quote, and I thought it was fabulous. She said, "Everybody has a voice within their city hall with local government, and the smaller you go, the bigger your voices get out there. Understand what the issues are, educate yourself, look around, see what's happening, and then use your voice. There's so many opportunities to do that." And I agree with her, absolutely. The morning breakout session that I attended was a panel discussion led by Sarah Claycomb, who runs the health food shop over on North Anthony Boulevard. I shop there all the time. They're a really cool store. I like them. And so she was the moderator, and then the 3 panelists I had never heard of before. Hillary Armstrong was the owner of Haunt's Farm Produce. It's a blueberry farm. It was originally a U Pickett style farm, and then she expanded it to include other types of produce and other cool stuff. She doesn't sell directly to the public, but she does sell her blueberries to, I think, Heady Arts Pastries. So I've got to get me some before I leave Fort Wayne. And then another panelist was Tom Brookshire, owner of Crossroads Kombucha. Now this guy, I never met him before, but he really seemed like he knew about the business. There was a lot of the business end of bringing a product to market. Oh, that was the title of it. Bringing new products to market. Steps to packaging, pricing, and selling new products. I should have told you that at the beginning. Learn from local food entrepreneurs about the important decisions they needed to make as they launched their new local food and beverage products. So Crossroads Kombucha is Brookshire's company, and I've known about them for a long time. I am not a kombucha fan, so but I've had Crossroads Kombucha. It's pretty good. And then Samantha Yim was also on the panel, and she's the owner of True Kimchi. And if I had remembered to bring my phone to the co-op yesterday when I went grocery shopping, I could have gotten some footage of her products. But she sells jarred kimchi all over the place. She's really become successful at it. And again, I'm not a kimchi eater, so yeah, that is not something that I personally would buy, but I am so happy that she's been able to be successful about this. And fermented kimchi is fermented cabbage and other things, and I don't even know what all is in kimchi. Anyhow, I am very, very happy that she has found success. And it really, truly is a business. This isn't just a bunch of hippies trying to have some sort of commune. It's a real business by people who have a demand for these types of products. They want fresh, healthy, locally grown, locally produced, locally raised products that they consume. And this is just, it's a fabulous thing. There's a whole, they went into point of sale and inventory control and how much it is to, how much it costs the business owner. And one thing I really want to emphasize in today's video is that whenever we talk, consumers have this idea that if you're in business, you're wealthy and you have enough money to compensate for all of these regulations that are made, and that you can compete with you can compete with Amazon, and you can compete with Thrive Market, and you can compete with all these other big companies that are out there. And that is so not true. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have regulations. I mean, of course, health and safety concerns should always be maintained. But it gets so hard when you start getting into the nitty gritties of everything that comes into the whole supply chain of a local food network. It was extremely interesting, and I wish I were better versed at it. I wish I had taken better notes. So that was it. And then we had a lovely lunch. Oh God, lunch was so great. It was provided by Walnut Hill Catering and Events, and all of the items were locally sourced. It was so good, so good. We had a mixed lettuce salad with, so we had this wonderful salad with produce from Amish Aquaponics, Berry Hill Farm, and we had those little sprouts with Something Better with Beth, which is really cool. So Beth Zimmer something. She has this sprout farm, and I've really been into sprouts lately because I saw on YouTube, and you know, if it was on YouTube, it's got to be true. But broccoli sprouts and I guess other cruciferous sprouts are like the #1 cancer preventing food. So I have been buying sprouts and putting them on all of my salads and all of my sandwiches, and I've just been sprout crazy because they're this highly cancer fighting food. So anyhow, that was great. And then for the for the entree, we had pulled pork, which they had smoked a whole hog from wood farms, raised and smoked by wood farms. And I gotta tell you something. The woman who was in line in front of me was wearing a hijab, and she was dark complected. And when she went into, it was a buffet style, and she said, "Oh, is this pork?" And when they said yes, and she said, "No, thank you." So that was interesting to see some diversity in our, there is diversity in Fort Wayne, just so you know. So we also had a Walnut Hill tomato jam, from Decamp Gardens. That is my local connection. I will tell you about in a minute. We had 8 bean and farm veggie cassoulet from Berry Hill Farm, Decamp Gardens, and Windrose Urban Farm. So this was a warm dish made with mostly beans and some other things. 8 bean and farm veg. I don't know what a cassoulet is. I'll look it up. And then we had roasted fall root vegetables, which are always a win. Roasted root vegetables are fabulous. We had Heirloom corn muffins, again from Decamp Gardens. Oh, that's the big thing. So Decamp Gardens has this. Can you see this? This cornmeal, which is just, it's really famous out here, and it's fabulous. I had the corn muffins, and I am not a big fan of cornmeal, corn muffins. I like corn tortillas in Mexican food, but I'm not a big fan of cornbread. But these corn muffins were really good. And then we had Dutch apple pie, which I passed on because I'm trying to watch my sugar, and pumpkin pie, which I definitely indulged in. However, there was no whipped cream, so at least I saved myself on that. And there was also apple crisp, which I did not have. The lunch was fabulous. Then we had the afternoon schedule, and I went to Food in the City. Where is my cheat sheet on that? Food in the City. I'm such a rocker chick, it's pathetic. Okay, here we go. So, living in an urban area can offer challenges for accessing a healthy diet. This interactive presentation offers insights into food security, food access, and how urban agriculture is a small way to help alleviate some of those challenges. And it was presented by 2 people from Purdue Extension. One was Jared Blanchard, who is the community wellness educator, and Terry Thiessen, who is the horticulture and urban agriculture educator. And Terry is, she's active, I don't know what her role is with the Johnny May Farm, but Johnny May Farm is Johnny May Farm is located at 2518 Winter Street in Fort Wayne. So they provide fresh vegetables at affordable prices to the residents of Renaissance Point and the surrounding neighborhoods on Fort Wayne's southeast side. The property boasts a state-of-the-art teaching kitchen and 3/4 of an acre of farm in the back. All produce is grown using a responsible land ethic and organic practices. So it's really a great way to get fresh locally grown produce in an area that is really hurting. They are economically stressed in that neighborhood. So this is a wonderful program that they have going on with the Johnny May Farm. And this was such a fascinating lecture. We learned all about how the community development and community food structures, how all of those impact our community. Did I just say community like 100 times? I think I did. So it has to do with our health and wellness, and how one choice begets another, which begets another, which begets another. And it was just absolutely fascinating, and I really want to thank Jared and Terry for giving that presentation. So that was it for the food forum, but now I want to take you to Decamp Gardens. My husband's mother's name is Jeanette Decamp. So when I found out we have a Decamp Gardens here in Indiana, I was like, oh, we got to check it out. So Jim and Pam, I think that's her name, they own Decamp Gardens up in Albion. Yes, that's our new favorite place. They are right up the road from they are right up the road from Chain Lake State Park, where I did a YouTube video a couple weeks ago. So yeah, the Hoosier Parlinguan, I think that was last week. Was that last week? Or was that the week before? So we got to meet them. We got to see their farm. We don't actually think that they're related, but anyhow, I got some great footage of their farm, and I got to talk to Pam a little bit about her business, and I brought home a bunch of great stuff and did some cooking. So I'm talking with Pam Decamp of Decamp's Garden Organic. Now tell me a little bit about the history of this place.
Well, this actually is our 42nd year, and we started all those years ago because we wanted to feed our family, to be self-sustainable, not have to depend on grocery stores or anybody. So, and as far as the organic part, that was a long time ago. We were young and didn't have any money. So we figured out how to grow using plant companions, cover crops, etc.
How difficult was it to get certified organic?
Very simple. We're actually naturally grown certified. So CNG, certified naturally grown. It doesn't have near the restrictions as paperwork anyway as the USDA, but it's more stringent on reporting, being inspected. We have to have our water tested twice a year and our soil tested. It was just more for us being a grassroots company. It just felt better than the USDA.
How labor intensive is it to be organic?
Not any more labor intensive than regular gardening. You still have weeds, you still have, but you make the adjustments and do it.
And do you think it's worth it?
Oh, most definitely it is. For one, the nutritional value in the plants that come directly from the soil when they're ready to be harvested versus something picked and shipped when it wasn't even mature enough to be shipped. It's a great way to live.
Now, what about being local? How important is it to eat locally grown foods?
Well, you save your carbon footprint for one. You don't have the truck that gathers from one of the coasts and bring it to you, so you're saving, all that energy. But local, it's your soil in the area. It's just better.
Okay, thank you so much. All right.
Okay.
So what is this?
This is a Kohlrabi, or some people call it a Kohlrabi. It's just however you want to interpret the spelling. But this is almost classified as a root vegetable because it has a long taproot that raises the thing. We peel it like an apple, slice it up and eat it with a little bit of salt, but you can also roast it. So a little bit, cut it, quarter it, whatever, a little bit of olive oil, some seasoning that you want, put it in with your peppers and other vegetables, and it's fantastic.
I just got home from Decamp Gardens, and now I want to show you what I ended up buying. I got some all-purpose seasoning, some microgreens, sweet potato, zucchini. This is their little brochure. Interesting. Oh, cornbread recipe using the Decamp's cornbread, heirloom cornmeal. Oh, I picked up some non-dairy Parmesan cheese for a vegan friend of mine. And I got some zucchini bread. I love zucchini bread, and now that my mom's gone, I know I'm never going to get any of her yummy zucchini bread again. Got a cucumber for salad and some eggs. Some eggs. So that is what we ended up getting today. I just got back from shopping at the Three Rivers Natural Foods Co-op, and I wanted to show you what I got. I picked up something better with Beth big mix, because this has the broccoli sprouts that I want. So they come looking like that. I also got some lettuce, locally grown romaine butter crunch. I got nice, this is the right size red bell pepper. See how tiny it is? It almost looks like a giant habanero, but it's a bell pepper, and it's dark red, and it's just the right size for Eddie and Gwen. I got cucumber. I got more probiotics for, it says 55 plus. I'm only 55, but I need this for menopause because it's different when you're my age. And what I love about the co-op is that they sell bulk mushrooms. Every place else has them already dished out in the containers, which are mostly plastic. And I absolutely hate buying mushrooms in plastic. So I am going to take these out of their plastic and put them in paper bag. What else? What are there? And this, my friends, is the pièce de résistance. I got myself a piece of carrot cake. They make it there at the co-op, and I always get the end piece because the frosting is so good. So I am going to pick out and have a piece of carrot cake. So now let's put everything together and whip up something great in the kitchen. Right now I am just washing my vegetables with some apple cider vinegar in a sink full of water. I just use about that much, doesn't take long. So I have a sink full of vegetables, and I am just going to give them a nice little rinse. So what I do is I take a dish towel, a big dish towel, and I dry all my vegetables, give my vegetables a good wring. And I dry them up like that. My mushrooms, what I do is I take a paper towel and I dampen it just slightly. And then I just brush it off. And you can see stuff. See? And you can see stuff. You don't want to soak mushrooms because they will absorb the water and then they get really gross. So it's best to just knock off the dirt with a damp paper towel. And then I just slice them up and put them in the salad. Little cucumber. And that's probably enough. This is probably enough for Eddie and me. Okay, so we have lettuce, sprouts, mushrooms, a cucumber. I have some feta. I'm going to throw that in there. And then leftover meat from my other, from our meals that we took home. And then I think we're going to have the rest of the zucchini bread for breakfast tomorrow. What do you think, Eddie? Okay, so I have my salad, and I remembered I had some pumpkin seeds. I remembered I had some pumpkin seeds left over from a long time ago. I'm surprised these are still good, but they look good. They smell good. So I'm going to add some pumpkin seeds. I'm going to add our leftover meat. I had some tri-tip that I bought at Jameson Meats and some chicken leftover from the Thai Meta restaurant. I'm going to put all of that in there. And then for salad dressing, I'm going to use the stuff that Thai Meta gave us for the chicken pate. Isn't that clever? Using dipping sauce for salad dressing. Might need a little more oil, I think. Some extra virgin olive oil. Throw that on here. And just mix it up like that. So I'm going to serve it up in these bowls that Eddie and I made at Painting Fun Spot. That was it. So this is my attempt at making a Polish pottery piece, and this is his Viking piece. So I'm just going to serve this up in little bowls. Garlic. Put it in my handy dandy, one of my friends who had a pampered chef party. Put it in a big bowl with a half stick of butter. And then I'm going to take some of vegan Parmesan cheese, although the butter is not vegan. Some leftover hamburger buns. And then add some leftover mozzarella. And throw this under the broiler for about a minute. And then here we have a nice little dinner for Eddie and me. Some toasted garlic bread and some salad. We were able to use up some of the leftovers in our kitchen and support local farmers. Local ag means jobs, regional output, and taxes staying within the communities, the city, state, and local communities where they're collected. Smaller farms usually do not have all of the environmental or labor hazards that you'll see in big farms. At the workshop about bringing products to market, I asked the question, how is it that Walmart can sell organic green beans for $1, but you go to the co-op and their green beans are $5? My friend Jane, who is sitting in the audience, she runs the local Plowshares, what's it called? Plowshares Cooperative Food Hub. I just call it Plowshares. But anyhow, she answered by saying usually the large scale organic farms, they're just crossing T's and dotting I's to make sure that they comply with the organic standards, which are pretty lenient in the United States. Their labor practices is where they save all their money. Because I knew, and that was the whole reason for my question, that organic farming is incredibly labor intensive. And especially when Hillary was discussing the way she does her blueberries for her blueberry farm. I mean, it's just super labor intensive. And I don't see how any organic farmer can turn a profit. It's just, there's just no way. And let alone sell their product for as cheap as Walmart does or Kroger or whatever. I remember seeing organic sugar on the shelves at Safeway in California a few years ago. It was the first time I'd ever seen organic as mass produced. And I asked someone, how can that be when sugar is organic is such a labor intensive process? And he said, oh, well, when you're growing in scale, you can make it affordable. And that isn't true. That is so not true. If anyone tells you that mass produced organic gardening is feasible because they do it at a large scale, that is not true. It is because they are exploiting their farm workers. And just for my own sake, because we do critical thinking here on the Rivervine YouTube channel, I actually looked it up to see, okay, is Jane correct? I'm not going to just take her word for it. I'm not saying she's a liar or anything, but I'm not going to take her word for it. Well, sure enough, I did my highly academic Google search, as I always do, and weeded through all of the memes and the cringe-worthy biased publications. But I came across a 2011 study from Urban Habitat saying the organic designation has nothing to do with labor practices. It's just following very, very liberal standards by the USDA to be deemed organic. And when I say liberal, it's liberal for someone like Kroger or Walmart or some big company to do that. But for somebody local like Hillary, she can't afford to get the USDA organic certification for her products. So she can't call herself organic, even though in practice she is. And I see a lot of that with local farmers. So whereas a local farmer may be organic and not have the designation, and a big farmer, a large scale farm, might have the designation, but they might not be as organic, like as healthy as you think they are. Food for thought. That wraps up this week's video. I'm your host, Gwen-Elise Clayton, and every Tuesday I bring you news, features, and commentary from the utopia of Rivervine. We are a community of critical thinkers with a sense of wonder. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can be part of our way cool kinship, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it informational and or entertaining. I will post links to everything I mentioned today in the description below. And if you'd like to financially support this channel, you can be part of my Patreon platform, and be sure to check out my books on Amazon. I will post links to everything down below. You can read more on my website at gwenclaytonwrites.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.